Can I join in?
Of course you can.
We'll just say this on Dad all day long.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
I literally feel so like today. Just a bit puffed out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a bit like, like that's just me today.
It's been us the last 6 weeks, hasn't it?
Hey guys! We need to stop speaking as though she's literally like...
Don't wanna wake her up.
I know, but she won't wake up. That's the thing with newborns. You literally forget that they like sleep. They would sleep through a hurricane.
She really opened her eyes then.
No, she didn't. She's
She
dreaming.
didn't.
She's dreaming.
About to prove you wrong.
Welcome back to our channel, everybody. We thought that it would be a good time to have a bit of a catch up.
Yeah, a little Q&A. 6 weeks.
PP.
Postpartum. How life's going on with 3 little ones running around us. Before you start, Ellie,
Yeah.
I want to ask you, how are you feeling at the moment? Let's start the Q&A. Let's do a question each to start the Q&A.
Okay.
How
I
are you,
like that.
How are you feeling today?
I like that. Do I want to get deep? Do I want to get deep? I feel tired today. I have had a few days recently where I felt a little bit like...
Wow, sorry to interrupt, but your eyes look stunning.
Really? You just saying
No,
that?
in that sunlight caught them then. Wow.
Thanks, Bubby. I feel good. I'm having a really good postpartum experience. This is my best postpartum experience yet.
I've noticed that as well myself.
I love our life together.
Yeah.
I love our kids. I love our marriage. I'm very happy. But I will say the last 2 days I felt a little bit like...
Catching up with you a little bit.
No, just maybe a little bit baby blues-ish, a little bit. Yeah, I don't know, it's just a lot. It's just a lot.
It's just a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a lot.
That's the best way to describe it.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Giving my little daughter a little cuddle.
How's dad life of
Dad life.
3 under 4?
I'm the same as you. I'm tired. I'm happy. I love our family. I love our life. Just a lot.
It's just a lot. I just feel like this is going to be the biggest update in the world. Like,
God.
It's always so weird, like, having a few weeks off of YouTube and then coming back and I just feel like I'm the biggest over talker, I'm the biggest rambler. I feel like I want to share with you guys every single second of every single day, like, that I haven't been vlogging. Okay, was it harder to go from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, or 2 to 3 kids?
I feel like my answer is different to yours.
What's your answer?
I would say going from 1 to 2 is more difficult than going 0 to 1.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your answer? Why?
Because I feel
That
like...
really surprises me. I thought you were going to be like 2 to 3. That's
yeah,
what
I know,
thought
but
you were
we're
gonna
only
say.
6 weeks in.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can't really gauge it.
Give it a fair answer.
Yeah. Because
She's only 6 weeks.
she's only 6 weeks old. We're in a different country. We haven't got our usual support
It's a
system,
different
so,
postpartum experience this time, isn't it?
like, obviously this one's going to be slightly harder because of all those factors. But I feel like,
harder in different ways.
yeah, going from 1 to 2.
Oh yeah, come on then. What's
I just feel like
reason?
when we had Saint our first, it was just time was split evenly. Like if I was overstimulated, you would have him,
Yeah.
or vice versa. And if you had him, I was able to go to the gym,
Yeah. Okay.
de-stress, still work,
Yeah.
whatever it may be, have my own time,
Yeah.
etc. But going from
1 to 2.
1 to 2, you would still have Saint. So you would have Romeo, I'd have Saint, for example.
Do you know what I think it is? Do you know why I personally think you found that harder than the shift from 0 to 1? Because I found the shift of going from no kids to having 1 baby by 1,000,000,000% the hardest out of all of the like kids that we've added on since. I think the difference is because my shift in identity of like, okay, I'm a mother now, like I have a forever responsibility, my mind is 24/7 on this child, happened for me when I was postpartum with Saint, when I'd first had Saint. Like from the second Saint was born, my fellow mums out there will know, your mind from there on never switches off. I wonder if maybe that identity shift didn't really happen for you when we first had Saint, and it happened more so when we had Romeo because you then had more responsibility.
Yeah, probably.
You know?
It definitely is a responsibility thing because being the mum...
Not that you didn't have responsibility
No,
with
of
Saint,
course.
but there was more pressure on you
to take more responsibility.
You couldn't just go to the gym when Saint went
Yeah,
down for a nap because we had
exactly.
Romeo that
Yeah.
week, you know?
And because in our relationship, postpartum with newborn, the mum and you tend to do more.
Yeah.
So with Saint, you tended to
Yeah.
do more. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was less of a big impact on my lifestyle
Yeah.
until we had Romeo.
Yeah.
And then it was like a shared,
Yeah.
even thing. And then, yeah, so I would say that
That's
was
so
harder.
interesting to me. Great.
Saint was bubby. Saint coming into the world was easy. Not easy,
For
but...
you, see, not for me. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Not for me.
And then little honey bunny being a whirlwind.
Can we address the elephant in the room from the last video, please? After I was absolutely berated in the comments, everyone thinking I'd take our daughter and run into our bedroom and lock the door behind us and throw away the key and hog her from you every single day of
Is
my
that
life.
another question, is it? Yeah, that's the one that confessed my sadness in the last video. I may have been slightly dramatic in my delivery. Although it's true, I am spending less time with Honey and it's sad in that sense. It's not like Ellie is.
It's not my fault.
It's not
okay,
Ellie's
it's not
fault.
me. It's not me, guys.
She's not running away and locking herself in a room with Honey, deciding that I can't hold her or
I literally can't believe people
put her
thought that.
in a sling and cook dinner with her. That's not what's going on. It's just a case of me comparing newborn life with Honey to our other two, and I just spent more time with Saint and Romeo's newborns as I do with Honey, and in that sense it is sad because I'm not spending as much time, but I am still spending plenty of time. I'm still getting these cuddles, the hugs, she's asleep on me.
Yeah. I think that was a real opportunity for a missed.
Yeah.
I don't know, what am I trying to say here? I don't know. I felt like it was really great and honest of you to open up about your feelings about that, because I think it's a really, really common thing that men or fathers maybe don't feel like they bond as much with a brand new baby, because there is so much for the mum to do, especially if they're breastfeeding.
Yeah.
And I think it's really sad, to be honest with you, that it was maybe taken out of context and people then put all the blame on me, the fact that you maybe feel like you weren't having enough bonding time with Honey, when in actuality it is just the reality of having 3 children, especially 3 really young children
Under the age of 4.
Yeah.
And that's why I said it in the YouTube video, because I get DMs from dads, future dads, who ask me what's it like being a dad? Is there any they have concerns or questions, and maybe they're not feeling like they're connecting with their baby enough, or they have to go back to work after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're in such a privileged position where we get to spend so much time with our kids.
No, they're not alone.
No, they're not alone, And if you guys are out there watching and you want to drop me a DM, please feel free.
Yeah.
But just to confirm, it's not my beautiful wife's fault.
Oh, thank you.
And that's just the reality of it. We
yeah.
have 2 growing boys who love to be active. So when
energetic.
Ellie is feeding Honey, it's not like we're sat in the next room watching TV and Eddie could come and spend time with them.
Yeah.
We're outside playing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's so true.
sometimes you can't be there as well.
Yeah.
I think it's important that we show you when we are feeling vulnerable and all of our feelings, from happiness to sadness, because it can so easily be misportrayed on social media that
absolutely.
everything is sunshines and rainbows and it's perfect 24/7, when in reality, when you got 3 kids, no support system, it can get
overwhelming.
Can get tough. And sometimes the dads could just be like, I'm a bit sad.
Well, should we give the people a little bit of goss? Was she always a Honey, or was there another name close to being used? Oh, hello, Hacky. Hello. We got a question as well saying, why don't you ever bother with the dogs anymore? You very much still rule the roost, especially Dad's life, don't you? Mm-hmm. Stare at him every day.
Ask him to go on my daily runs with me, and don't worry guys, they come out on nice.
Hecky's a runner now.
Runs.
Hecky's a track star.
Yeah, they got their own little night lights to be flashing so everyone can see them.
Yeah, come on then. Was she always a Honey? In my mind, she was always a Honey.
In your mind, she was always a
Always.
Honey. In my mind, it was Honey and Isabel. I really like the name Isabel. I think she would have suited Isabel, but Honey is just...
Honey's her.
Honey is her.
I toyed with the idea of Isabella.
I like Isabella as well. But I like Isabel. Isobel.
Yeah, that's lovely.
I just think that is
Yeah, that's really cute.
just iconic,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Not as iconic as Honey Jane Swift.
Nowhere near as iconic
But
as
that's
that.
also iconic. So if there's anyone out there looking for girl names, Isabel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other random names we had?
We liked Gigi for a while, didn't we?
Gigi, yeah.
But my nieces and nephews call my dad Gigi, so we were like, we don't really know if that's a bit of a crossover.
Like Saint was like Pierre and Romeo. Pierre, Romeo and Gigi would have gone.
Have you guys seen that who is it, Jennifer Hudson show?
You're on about it. Of
Aaron,
course, every
Pierre,
single
that's Mufasa.
every single one of these people have seen that.
Ever since Connor was the first one to see that, you guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're like Ellie, what are you talking about? Type into TikTok.
Yeah,
that's Mufasa. Stop, Con. Stop. My postpartum
Me,
hormones
you
can't
need to
handle
start
it.
watching that. Just come on randomly in the middle of the night when she's feeding honey.
No, it's just
Aaron,
such a
don't-
liar.
What am I hearing?
You need to go on TikTok and search the Jennifer Hudson show, Aaron Pierre, walk. They do a walkthrough of the tunnel of all of their guests and they
Tunnel
sing songs to them and oh my gosh, that is iconic. That is iconic. And anyway, ever since Connor's seen it, Connor was like, he asked me the other day, did you like the name Pierre?
Quite like that.
Is having baby Swift number 4 a hard no? You make the cutest babies, love you guys.
Is it hard no else?
I don't know, Con, I go back and forth literally every day, which is just ridiculous because I'm literally 5 weeks postpartum. But do you know what I will say? I don't think I'm ever going to be one of those women that is like, I'm done having babies. I love having babies and being in this crazy chaotic early stage of motherhood so much. I truly, truly, truly believe. I'm going to cry in a minute. Here comes the tears.
She's going to cry over you.
I truly believe I'm going to look back at the end of my life, hopefully when I'm a little old lady, and I will say that these days that we are in right now were the best days of my entire life. Yeah. I hope that they're going to be the best days of my entire life for the next 20 years. I am so excited for every stage of motherhood, but I love this stage so much. I just think the toddler stage, the learning so much about them is just the best stage, you know? They love you so much, they need you so much. You're their best friend, you're their whole world.
Stop, because you're
10 years
convinced
time
me.
it's going to be a different, anyway, I don't know if I'm, I will never be able to be clocked out, never going to have another baby. So before I go ahead, I want to know, what's your answer?
I mean, when you first asked the question, I was going to say it is a hard no, but then when you just think
My
about
little emotional
I
spiel.
just feel when you're older, having
Yeah.
another son or daughter to
I know.
come and visit you and chat.
Because do you know what I think? It's hard right now. 10 years time, Con. Of course we wouldn't regret having a but it's a blip in time.
But then you think about...
But we're so deep in the blip right now
But
that it feels like it would be so much. But then you're you look at your entire life with kids, okay, they are this age for a blink of your life. I saw a quote, this will make you emotional as well, Con.
Gosh.
I saw a quote the other day that said you spend more time with your kids as adults than they are children.
that reel always comes up on my
Yeah,
page.
that's a sign from our 4th baby, Con.
But then you think about the last month of your pregnancy.
Yeah, I know. But then again, it's only a month.
And then you losing yourself.
Yeah. Because that's
Motherhood.
what I was going to go on to say, right? My answer right now is that I'm so disconnected to myself at the moment, and I feel that started when I first became pregnant with Saint. You kind of lose your pink a little bit as a mum, right? And as a dad as well.
Lose your what, pink?
Lose your pink. It's a saying.
Love that.
Flamingos, when they give birth,
They lose the pink.
their pink feathers fall off
They go white.
for a couple of years. When they come back to themselves, they come back pink.
Where have you got this from? What have you
It's
read
just
recently?
it's just a known fact. It's just a known fact.
Lost your pink.
Yeah, and
Love that.
I've lost my pink. I have.
What can the boy version be? I lost my
your
blue.
blue.
Or red.
Why red?
Red's boyish, isn't it?
Lost your hair. Lost your hair.
Touchy subject, okay?
Yeah, and right now I'm no, that pregnancy really took it out of me. I would rather right now get back to myself a little bit more than enter another pregnancy right now. As much as I adore it so much, I feel like I owe it to myself a little bit now to just like invest in myself.
Get your pink back.
Get my pink back for a couple of years. Catch us in 18 months' time, we'll be like, baby number 4 is on the way.
What's the gender gonna be?
Because I do also think while we're in these...
Might as well.
We might as well. Like when we're in the nappy stage, like what's another one? I'd rather do that than like you said.
Wait 2 years and then go again. Or 3 or 4. Then have all your pink back.
You know you're really fertile after you give a baby. Like we could just knock it out.
No,
so.
come on. Everyone look at her. She is
but then
born
also,
to be the single princess.
Only girl, youngest child.
For the rest of her
literally.
life. 2 big brothers.
I know, that's what I think. Like, because that dynamic is so strong in my head right now that she is going to be the youngest with 2 older brothers. I'm like, well, what would the dynamic be if we had another baby?
She's snoring and they haven't actually fed yet.
For God's sake.
So they had their walking, they had a little nap, and then he's realised, oh, I've actually not had any food. She's so precious. Oh my God.
I'd be dead on his bed like Lord of the Castle in there.
Oh, of course.
Like he just asked his younger brother to just...
Go get some food for us.
I walked in, he was like this, with his ears up.
Oh, because you knew what was coming.
Yeah. For your next move, will it be the US or the UK?
San Diego, California.
Oh, Bub, what? Con confuses me, guys, because he literally goes hot and cold every day.
Let's just say this. We've made a decision.
No, we haven't.
We have.
No, we haven't.
Okay, Eddie, we haven't.
No, we haven't. Guys, honestly, here's the honest truth,
Whoa.
okay? Bible under oath. This is the honest truth. We don't know, and we are about 2 months away from having to...
It's very much up in the air. We have started conversations with both San Diego and England.
We're just
Let's
throwing it
just
out
say
there
that.
to the universe, aren't we? We're just like, you make the decision for us because...
We have tried to do
all
pros
year.
and cons.
Yeah.
Okay, you could be team San Diego.
Okay.
I'll be team England.
Okay. Reasons we would move...
And the reason I've done that is because you are very good at being persuasive. So you could persuade me to move to San Diego.
Oh, Con, all right. You ready to want to move to
Come
San
on, let's
Diego?
do it.
Okay.
Until tomorrow when we wake up.
Reasons to move to San Diego. We have about 18 months left of our visa. That's like 1 full year left, really, when you look at like leases of houses and stuff. What's a year? If we know we're moving back to England eventually, which we are going to,
At the moment.
what's a year? At the moment, we could move to San Diego and be like,
Yeah.
yep, we're here forever.
What's another year?
Like, what's a year? Look at how quickly this year's gone. Envision walking the kids home.
You don't need to tell me, I'm sold already. I know.
Like, on the beach,
Have a
getting an ice
barbecue at home,
cream.
go back to the beach for sunset.
At the weekend, we do a road trip up to Yosemite. Or Monterey. I'm not done with my
Or
pros and
even
cons
to the
list.
mountains and go skiing.
Exactly. See, now you're hopping over to Team San Diego already. Guys, can I actually tell you another secret? Con's actually applied to some houses in San Diego. He literally has done the application. Yeah. I had some emails come through at about 11 p.m. When I woke up to breastfeed Honey at about 1 o'clock, I was like, oh my gosh, what are all of these? They're from Zillow, where Con has literally applied for San Diego houses. He was like, I just want to see if we're, I just want to see, like, just see what happens.
Because
which is fair enough.
The reason we didn't move to San Diego in the first place is because we couldn't reapply, but no one would accept us. So there's no point even thinking about San Diego if we won't be accepted again.
Yeah.
So now we have some credit, we have a social security number and all of that sort of boring stuff.
That's another reason. We have worked so hard this year to get the foundations to then go off and do what we originally came here to do, which was go and live in California like we wanted to.
We've applied for some, haven't we? I have. I've taken it upon myself as the man of the house. So we'll see. But now let's go on to Team England.
But I'm not done. But okay,
Team England.
There's enough pros about moving to California. I think
it sells itself.
Yeah,
really,
I don't need to sit here. Like, I am the representative of San Diego.
This is the more important, and you guys will understand why we may move back to England early. Then our visa expires. and then you could use your sane and sensible heads,
Yeah.
because Ellie's impulsive and I'm the complete
Maybe
opposite.
too much the other way.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
We've realised how hard it is to sort of get settled, build a
Yes, community.
a support system here.
Build a life for yourself in somewhere completely brand new.
Moving out of state and doing that all over again for the sake of just one extra year, and we could just move back and
be straight back into our
get back into our
family, our friends, like know where we are
and build our life again back home a year early. Sounds attractive. It means Saint starts school on the correct time period. The financial burden of San Diego versus the UK.
Like, and when we say financial, but I feel like people overlook that a little bit. When we say, hello, Hecky. When we say financial burden, it's not just like, oh, cost of living is expensive. It's like you are looking at so much money every single month.
And also, will we really get the full San Diego experience
with 3 young children?
With 3 young children who need to nap.
Yeah, it's not like we can just.
They'll be in bed by 7 p.m.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like when it was just me and you moving to California.
Yeah.
It's a completely different lifestyle to what it would be, because our kids do so well under routine.
Yeah. And that's just the way we choose to parent.
That's the way we choose to parent, and we definitely find with Saint, he thrives in a routine.
Yeah.
And
that's so
being
true.
in San Diego in a routine, I feel like it would just
take away from the San Diego lifestyle.
A little bit. And it wouldn't be the same as the picturesque pictures and reels that you see on Instagram.
There is also, if we move back to England, so much more scope to travel.
Yeah, all of Europe, etc.
Well, but also there's just like, there's nothing to stop us coming out to San Diego for the summer.
Exactly,
you know?
Similar to what Ellie's sister did this year. They came out to Texas for they came out to America for 6 weeks, and they were with us for 6 weeks. So we could just do that in the school holidays. Go to San Diego for a month. Yeah. And he would be a little bit older, it'd be a little bit easier, etc., etc. But yeah, that's where we're at. Also, regarding our jobs and future projects, being back in England would make more sense as well.
Yeah. Like when I think about what we have coming up work-wise for this next year, it would make so much more sense to be back in England.
Because it's been difficult trying to get certain things off the ground being in the US. But anyway, guys, that's enough of that.
But honestly, I would really, really, really welcome any like advice you guys have, particularly if you have been in the same situation. I just feel like whatever decision we make in moving to San Diego or to England, I don't think we will ever feel like 100% yes, that was the right thing to do. I think if we put all of our stuff on a truck and drive over to San Diego, as freaking much as I'd be pumping the music and so excited for the next year of my life.
Isn't that what life's about?
Exactly.
Like this, like one of my favourite songs.
Life is a highway. Oh no, the other one. Oh, this is gonna be the good life.
Same band. Song.
What song is it? I can't remember.
Lived.
It's
and
just
with
something to my
every broken bone, I swear I lived. I did it all. Do you know what I mean? That's what life's for.
We're moving to San Diego, aren't we, Con?
Everyone who's watching up to this point, just write San Diego or
England.
Trowbridge.
and
we'll count to see who has the most comments, and then we'll pick. And the dogs would love probably San Diego a little bit more.
Oh my gosh, they so would.
No, actually, Herbie loves the countryside.
Herbie is a British boy. He is,
isn't he? He would wear
Hecky, we can throw on a ranch with a bandana. He's going to be giddy up with one of the horses.
Rounded him up.
He could also very easily suit San Diego life, little beach boy. Herbie is like...
He's got a Burberry coat on.
Yeah.
He's got a little hunter's hat, like those hats?
Yeah.
One of those hats. And he actually sits on top of a horse. He doesn't actually walk around anywhere because he doesn't want to get his paws muddy. But listen, any decision we make, it will be the right one for our family.
Yeah,
regardless.
and I will always find a reason to tell you why the universe sent us in that direction, won't I, at the end of the day. So, how much was the hospital bill for having honey in America? Well, I'd like to let you guys know, my husband actually came prepared to this video with the receipts because we knew that you guys would be asking that.
You see those like TikToks of like 100 grand bills. Yeah. I can see very fast how they can get to that.
Okay.
If your pregnancy isn't like a
Smooth sailing.
A smooth sailing.
Okay.
Traditional standard one. So we've had a few bills come through our insurance, and basically we've had to end up paying, I want to say like 10% of the total amount. Also puts into perspective how lucky the UK is for having the NHS.
Completely agree. Honestly, could not agree more with that.
Because
Yeah.
if you had to pay these sort of bills, determine if you have kids or not.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the price of this and
For
how much
every
it
child
costs
and
is
pregnancy.
crazy.
Yeah. Bearing in mind, we do obviously pay insurance every month.
Yeah, we paid a certain amount. Our insurance covered the majority of the bills.
But then by the time you've given birth, you've also paid X amount in insurance across a year anyway.
Yeah.
So this is the OB care,
And
midwife,
that amount was
doctor.
$8,500.
Oh, that we paid though.
We didn't pay that much. That's just how much was
Charged to
billed.
our insurance.
Yeah.
And that is just for her delivering my baby. Bearing in mind, she came in 15 minutes before I gave birth to Honey. They literally come in to deliver your baby.
Yeah.
And that is it. She pops in a couple of times through the labour just to like check how everything's going. But that's it. $8,500.
And then we saw her a few times beforehand.
Well,
in,
yeah,
like,
we saw her
checkups,
in most of
routines,
our
yeah.
routine pregnancy checkups, yeah.
And then this was the next bill that came through. This was the most expensive, and this came to a total of $22,500. And this was for the room itself, the delivery room. It says drugs, so I assume this is just all your IV and everything.
Yeah.
Your lab services, again, it's just given that as a description. And then the anaesthesia for your epidural. The third bill, this was for all of Ellie's postpartum care. It came to $5,000 for the room, drugs, and the lab services again. So in total, Ellie, what was it? 23 plus 5, 28 plus another 36.5 grand, so close to 40 grand.
To have a baby. In hospital in America.
We had to pay
$3,500.
On top of our monthly insurance.
As Connor said, it absolutely puts it into perspective of how incredible the NHS is.
Yeah. And I've actually got to go. So Ellie and Honey's going to finish the Q&A. I love you.
Come on, baby girl. The puppy.
Right, kiss, love you.
Love you. Honey and mommy.
Don't be gossiping too much to all the angels.
Hashtag girl time. Hey guys. Oh, Con, quickly, just before you go, what's your favourite thing about Texas and your least favourite? Favourite thing about Texas and least favourite? Oh, crack that open.
This is for me, hun. Least favourite mosquitoes. In the summer, honestly, if you gave me a teleportation device to go back to England in that instant, I would have jumped in that teleport.
Connor would get a mosquito bite and literally nearly cry. He was very emotional.
Yeah.
About that.
And my favourite thing, food and the house. Our house.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The memories we've made here,
Yeah.
pretty special. And the people that fill it are even specialer.
Love you. My favourite thing about Texas, I think, has to be the hill country. I think our memories that we made out there are so special, and I think the hill country is an incredible holiday destination, but it's also one that we never ever would have even known about. It's like really authentic. Like when you envision like Texas countryside, it's the hill country. Like it's just gorgeous. My least favourite thing about being in Texas has to be the extreme weather. Oh my god, you guys, like I can't cope living somewhere where in the summer it's extreme heat advisories, it's hurricane season, it's tornadoes over your house at 2 a.m. in the morning. It is traumatic. I don't know how people become so accustomed to it. Like to me, it is crazy. And then we had snow here the other day, and like it's just wild. I love the snow, but like it was just absolutely wild. And I don't know if you guys remember in the summer we went to Florida and we absolutely loved it there so much. We were actually considering moving there after our lease was up in Texas. But after the 2 wild hurricanes they had put us off, like I could just never live in Florida because I could just not deal with the hurricanes and like the extreme weather. It's just too much for me. I don't like it. Okay, let's do some girly questions now. Let's chat breastfeeding. Let's chat postpartum body image, because there's been a lot of questions about that. Someone said, I'm really struggling with my postpartum body 3 months after. What's your advice? Do you know what, babe? I don't have any advice other than I am there in the trenches with you on that. I don't know why this time around I'm struggling the most out of all of my postpartum experiences. I mentioned it in my last vlog. I wish I did not have the mentality towards it that I currently do, but at the same time, it is just reality. I feel like all we see online is love yourself, like feel confident however you look, and that is amazing, and I really really love so much that that is the narrative that we now have on social media after literally growing up our entire life, especially my generation, of such unhealthy dieting habits and relationships with our bodies. Like, it is healing to see that everywhere we go online. I do find sometimes that's a bit intimidating because I'm just not there. I'm not there, and I've had issues with my body image as long as I can remember. Like, I say this is my hardest time now with my third baby. Doesn't mean to say I wasn't still struggling last time or the time before that. Doesn't mean to say I wasn't struggling literally growing up as a teenager. I was looking at going to Weight Watchers at the age of like 13 years old. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, I think I speak for so many of us when I say that it's not as simple, unfortunately, as just like flicking a switch and just having this really like gentle approach to loving your body. Like, that takes a lot of work to unlearn so many of the things that we saw growing up, and that the relationships we had with our bodies growing up. And I think postpartum is just can be a really really like big season of life that triggers all of those same feelings, and I'm trying really really hard to be so kind on myself. I really am. I'm trying really hard to embrace it as much as I can and know that it is just a season. I think the fact that it is my third, and knowing that how my body looks at 6 weeks postpartum is not how my body's going to look at 6 months postpartum. How my body looks at 6 months postpartum is not how it's going to look a year in postpartum. Like, I know from experience that it's just like a really gradual process, and eventually I will get my confidence back with it. It's hard. It's hard. And as much as I want to sit here and say I didn't feel like that, the reality is that I do, which is ridiculous, because if it was one of my friends, I'd be like, what are you talking about? You just had a baby. And this is what I want to say to you guys. You just had a baby. You are incredible. Accept your body for what it has done for you, and see it as a vessel of life rather than something that you look in the mirror and have a negative connotation to. Your worth is so much more than your physical body. You are so much more than the number on the scales. Like, now is not the time to be thinking about losing weight, going on a diet, changing your body, criticizing your this or your that. Like, now is not the time. You are in survival mode. That's what I say to you guys. I try to tell myself the same thing, and it's kind of just like, at the moment, it's going in one ear and out the other, and accepting that for what it is as well, because there's just nothing I can do to change that. You know, it is what it is. All I can do is just catch myself in those moments where I'm not feeling confident, where I'm not feeling great about my body image, and try to correct myself. That's kind of all I can really do. But yeah, just know that you won't feel this way about your body forever. Try and be as kind to yourself as possible. You're so much more than your postpartum body, which sounds really obvious, but I think a lot of us struggle with that. So just know however you're feeling is completely valid. First time mum here, any advice for these first days of crying baby and breastfeeding tips? Okay, there is so much I actually want to say to a new mum right now, like especially a first time mum. I have been doing so much like reflection and comparison this postpartum experience with Honey compared to what it was like for my first time with Saint, and I have had such a dreamy postpartum experience this time around with Honey. I feel like it's because I have learned through all of the experience that I had from the last couple of times of doing it, to the point where I feel like I have a little like guidebook almost of like how to survive postpartum and how to make it a lot easier for yourself. And I feel like I have no one to share it with. Like, I'm like, where do I put these thoughts of mine? First off, I want to say, especially if it's your first baby, the shift is a lot, or it can feel like a lot. So what you're really going to want in your first postpartum experience is just to be held by other people. There's a lot of like, oh, come and see the baby, I want to hold the baby, da 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 da. In my experience, for a new mum, especially a first time new mum, we don't want to go around to hold the baby and to love the baby, because the mum's doing that. Like, obviously that's a really lovely thing to do, but the mum's already doing that. She's got that nailed. What we want to do to support a brand new mum is make her food, clean her house, do her laundry, offer to take her out for a walk with the baby on her. I can't lie, I feel like that is why this experience for me has been so much like dreamier than the other experiences, because I feel like this time Connor and I have we've got to such a place like in our journey together, in our marriage, in our parenthood era together, that both of us really understand that that's how we get through postpartum, is that I look after the baby and he looks after me. He is just like a dreamboat when it comes to being a husband, but also looking after people. Every meal he's made. Today, he's taking the kids out to soft play so that I can go and have a nap with Honey. I haven't asked him to do any of this. He fills up my water bottle. He offers to help with Honey where he can. Obviously looking after me this time looks an awful lot like looking after the boys, to be honest. But yeah, I would just say like really, really have somebody around you that looks after you. I just had to change the battery, so I apologise if the angle has changed. The other thing I want to add to like postpartum early days advice it's just like really annoying advice to hear, because I know that when you're in the thick of it, you're like, yeah, whatever. Honestly, just trying to understand and have the perspective that these days will not last forever. In fact, Honey is going to be 6 weeks old in 2 days' time, and already I see so much of a difference of what our days look like, of how I'm feeling, of what she's like, compared to even 3 to 4 weeks ago. Like, it really, really, really changes. I know everybody says how fast it goes, but when you are in the thick of it, just know that that is the thick of it. It's not like it's going to be like that forever. And then, I mean, you blink again and then they turn 1, and then you blink again and they turn nearly 4, which is what Saint's going to be like this summer. It's just absolutely crazy. Very annoying advice to hear, but it really is the truth. So yeah, you've got this, girl. If you can get through this, you can get through anything. You can get through any part of motherhood. Like, you can do it. Breastfeeding tips. Very lucky this time that I am still exclusively breastfeeding Honey. I continue to plan to do that. I am really, really thoroughly enjoying it so much this time around. Again, I wonder if it's because this is my 3rd experience of breastfeeding a baby now. I breastfed Saint for maybe a few days, and then we started to get him, we gave him like a bottle of formula at night, and then that just slowly progressed to basically me not breastfeeding him anymore by about a month old. Then my breastfeeding journey with him came to an end, and it kind of happened so like abruptly and so horribly as well. Like, I had mastitis, my nipple was like not okay. I won't go into detail, but my nipple was not okay. After Saint had tried to breastfeed, it was just like So then when I went into feeding journey with Romeo, I really wanted to give it everything I had for as long as I would be mentally happy to do so. I think my number 1 rule with breastfeeding is happy mum, happy baby. If you are getting to a point where breastfeeding is genuinely like taking away from your ability to feel like you can connect with your baby, to feel like you're happy, in my opinion, I think it's way more important that your mental health is there. So I really wanted to give breastfeeding with Romeo a go. I ended up breastfeeding him for 6 months and was like so happy with that. I breastfed him for 6 months because at the end of 6 months I was like, okay, I think I'm really ready now after 9 months of pregnancy and 6 months of breastfeeding, because I do feel like breastfeeding is an extension of pregnancy. I was really ready to just have my body back at that point. This time around, we didn't get off to a great start. I am so thankful for the support I have had, and I think that is what is healing for me in this time breastfeeding Honey, is because it was exactly the same journey with Saint, but this time I have had the help that I needed. When I was postpartum with Saint, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I didn't have any support. Somehow here in America, the support for breastfeeding is like, in my opinion, an absolute like in a tenfold of what you get in the UK. When I was in the hospital alone, and so this was like 24 hours after Honey was born, I was seen by 3 different lactation consultants. Not because I asked for them, but because they just were popping in to see how I was doing. Each one gave me really good advice. I was also told within 24 hours of her being born by her paediatrician, because they come in to check the baby as well, that she had a slight tongue tie, but also quite an extreme lip tie. On reflection, both Saint and Romeo have quite extreme lip ties. Saint definitely more. Difference it makes, guys. Oh my gosh, like, I don't know how I even managed to breastfeed Saint for like 3 days with his lip tie. And to be honest, it would probably explain the trauma that happened to my nipple because of his extreme lip tie. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, she had that, and then we waited for a couple of weeks to see how she was getting on with it. My latches were really painful. Like, every time I'd put her to the breast, it would really hurt. Breastfeeding is not supposed to hurt, by the way. Past the first like week or 10 days, it's not really supposed to hurt. And she wasn't really gaining weight either. So we're then referred by her pediatrician to a pediatric dentist, who was this incredible guy. His kids all had like really extreme cheek, tongue, lip ties. So he literally started a pediatric dentist to like combat these issues. We had her lip tie cut, and ever since, she has been an absolute dream. Breastfeeding's happened really easily. This time around is definitely the time that I have just like, I really love it. I have a really great relationship with breastfeeding. And I think what I would say to the new mums who are struggling with it, first of all, like I said, please remember your mental health is so much more important and should be put so much more as a priority than the pressure to breastfeed. I know breastfeeding is like a huge privilege that so many of us mums want to be able to do, but don't forget about yourself in the process. Like, there is so much already going on with having just had a baby. Please be kind to yourself. However, I know that that is really easy advice to listen and not necessarily take on board. I would also say, if you want to continue breastfeeding, if you want any support with your journey, reach out to people. Like, Google lactation specialists within your area, travel to go to see them if breastfeeding is something that you really want to continue doing. Go to a specialist about lip ties, cheek ties, tongue ties. Like, honestly, it makes such a difference. I'm not a breastfeeding expert. I'm just someone who is on my 3rd round of doing it now, and I'm thriving doing it this time. Honestly, I could sit here and talk about it all day. I could sit and chat with you guys all day long about all of this, but this video is probably about 2 hours long, so I'm gonna love you guys and leave you. Thank you guys so much for all of the questions. I feel like we are caught up. Like, I feel like this was a really good way to just sit and chat about stuff. So happy to be back. I'm so excited for this year. Like, this is gonna be a big year. We've got so much going on, lots to share with you guys, so much fun to be had. Yeah, and I just feel so lucky to have you guys here on this journey with us, so thank you for being here. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next vlog. Bye guys.